Hello, everyone. I think I'll be putting this recording up on YouTube, so if you're joining me in post, welcome. Hello. Hope you're doing well, whether it be night, day, somewhere in between, or whatever. Thanks for joining. I literally just started this. I'm doing a random sort of like psychic stuff, sort of live. So while people are joining, how's everybody doing? How was everybody's February? Hello. I meant to go live last Friday and life happened, so that's how my February is going. Hi, Meg. Hey, Joey. I'm seeing some of my Patreons. Hello. Oh no, Heartbroke Motel. Or Heartbreak Motel, I suppose. Yeah, a lot of people were going through that. Fresenius, hello. I believe you're one of my Patreons as well. Krista, the emotion and body coder, who is on my team. Thank you for joining. Yeah, I feel like we've all been going through it. Thank you, Polly Who, for the rose. Hello, Weeaboo. Am I saying that correctly? Oh, from Philadelphia. Hi, Val. Cool. I haven't been up to Philadelphia in a while. I want to go back. So, yes. Oh, very cool. Dad of 4 daughters. Yeah, so one thing to consider, we oftentimes, or many people oftentimes call them gifts, but they are abilities. And I didn't know what most of my abilities were for most of my life. I didn't understand how they worked. I thought that the only way to perceive information was to physically see it and to physically hear it. And just like we have more than 2 physical senses, we have more than 2 psychic senses. So if that is a passion of yours, I encourage you to look at what growth looks like for you, for understanding your language more and growing that ability. A lot of people, they do have natural inclinations towards things, but please understand, I was not one of those people. I did have it at a very young age. I shut pretty much all of it down until I finally did the mental health work in order to understand my own comfort levels and my own boundaries and that sort of thing, and that actually transferred into my spiritual health. Oh wow, yeah. So I had it since you were 7. It was scary at first, yeah, especially when like you don't understand what's going on and the people around you don't seem to understand. So yeah, 2-year-olds, there are a lot of magic kids right now. Oh my goodness. Shows you the energy spikes, Aaron Brown. Schumann report. I will check Aaron out. The people that I primarily follow are Emily Dexter, who's Liker of Words. I follow Crystalline, Sophia, and Rebecca Jane, who is Brute Hot Bones, and they do similar outlooks as well. Thank you for the rose, Tracy. I also do, for my patrons, at the top of the month, I do a outlook for the months it's a collective message specifically for those who are a part of the Patreon, for things to look out for. And already I've received a lot of validating messages, especially for this past month on the one that I put out for March. So yeah, there are plenty of readers, and a lot of us will read in varying ways. And I think that's really cool. And that allows all of us as people who are curious to look at different pages and really find the reader, psychic, spiritualist, astrologer, whatever speaks your language, so that you can best understand the energy as well. Oh, thank you for the shout out on my Patreon. I appreciate that. Yes, Pattern Scribe. Thank you. Amy, what do I mean? There's a lot of magic kids. Yeah, the next generation, there's a lot of magic kids. It's part what they're born with. Thank you for the heart, Christy. It's part what they're born with, but it's also how they're being nurtured. I know for me, my parents didn't fully understand all this stuff, and no harm to them or anything like that, though they couldn't help to cultivate my abilities as a young age, because they would have been afraid if they could have seen the stuff that I was seeing too. So in part, the generation who's raising the next generation will help to cultivate that skill simply from making them less afraid of it. If we can understand it, that means we don't have to fear it. Thank you for, I guess that's a gummy bear, Meg. Thank you. So part of it's cultivation, and part of it is where, as a whole, our energy is meant to grow right now. We're meant to, a lot of planes are like coming together, and it's just a lot of stuff going on. So in order to meet that level, that energy, more folks are going to be born that are going to be able to balance that energy better. So yeah, there are going to be a lot of clairvoyant kids out there. More and more and more. Called insight, yeah. Oh my goodness. Joey, I hope you're okay. Yeah, I know. The March polls this week for Patreon were a bit rough. But yeah, the fourth quarter, we're just getting through it. And I include myself in that as well. When I'm doing the reading, it's also, I'm part of the collective in that reading. So it's, helpful for me as well. Hey, Paige. Can I read photographs from Tracy? Yeah, I don't often do that. Typically, what I do is if I'm connecting with somebody one-on-one, I will connect with their energy that either connects to the memory and the energy of the memory associated specifically, or I'll connect with their energy to a guide's energy and the guide connects me to the place. But with photographs, yeah, it's not so much a clairvoyant thing. It's more like a claircognizant thing of like, there's something there. And then I kind of dig into that and get more specific with that. So thanks for sharing the live. Oh, awesome. Juno had a consultation with Matt. Opened up so much. Fantastic. Yeah, Matt is a part of my readers team. Matt is the tarot reader, the official tarot reader on my readers team, and is relatively new. So if y'all want to give Matt some love, not new to reading tarot, just new to being on my team. Focus on grounding yourself this month. That is a great focus. That is for sure a great focus. Find out on my own. Oh yeah, goodness. I probably astral traveled as a child as well. I'm answering Suzanne's comment. I'm putting this out because it's getting smoky in my tent. But now, what's like, just what I was saying, the cool thing is many of us who had these experiences and we didn't know like where to turn or like what to do, we can help the next generation better understand what they're doing. So that's the super cool thing. So it's like we're a society and we're supposed to like help each other or something. How do I feel when solar winds hit? Yours magnified for a week. I don't follow them as much, but I know I've had some like funny things happen around those times. So it's probably one of those things that do line up. Though I do try, each time I grow and get stronger abilities, I do more and more to get that muscle used to that level so that I don't fall back and I can like keep going and keep going. And really the way to do that is just to acknowledge what's happening. So, thank you, Valkyrie. So if it can be harmed, so if it can grow, can it be harmed to not grow anymore? Oh, as in like psychic ability? Yeah, we can control that. I know for some of us who have had scary experiences in the past, it may not feel that way, but it is possible. Some people call it blocks. It can also be called shields. When I'm out and about, my psychic abilities aren't tuned up like super high. What you were seeing here, this is where they're generally the highest, unless I like turn them on out and about and shield up appropriately. Oh, thanks, Erica. Let's see. Yeah, a lot of people have been having a lot of vivid dreams as of late. You are not alone in that. Oh, hey, Sarah. Welcome back. Yeah, I am trying to go live more on Fridays, usually at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard. And I have been posting, so if you haven't seen my videos, feel free to check out whatever playlist calls to you. I still am posting ghost skits regularly. If you're not seeing those, algorithm. I do post all of those. I pre-post them all together, and there are also some sneak peek, well, not sneak peek, but they're also either director's cuts or like different skits that I don't always post here that I put up on Patreon. So if you're not seeing them, that is at the $5 tier. But also for the $5 tier, that is where I include the outlook for the month. So I think it's a pretty cool like tier to be a part of. And like, so many of you have been so kind to say that you want to support me. The reason why I started a Patreon is so many of you were like, I want to give something for all the content that's put out. I want to give something. So I've got a bunch of different tiers on there, but they start at $5. There is a free membership tier, but I don't post as much on there. Naturally, it's just more of I send out thanks. I send out newsletter sorts of things. But yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Oh my goodness. My eyeliner is like unhappy with me. I guess I didn't put enough like powder on or something. Thank you, Brigzenta, if I'm saying that correctly. Thank you for the gift, but also for the kudos on my fort. I recommend, if anybody wants to build a fort, that you absolutely should, because hey, we're here and life is what it is. Thank you, Fresenius. Yeah, build yourself a tent. Absolutely do that. If you have somebody to build a tent with, build a tent with them. If you do not, well, my computer's in here, and I've been known to also watch movies in here sometimes when the world is just really loud. So you do what makes you happy. Good evening, Pry. Hi, JD. Cool, thanks for joining, everybody. Yes, Patreon supports unite. Thank you. Yeah, well, I was actually thinking of doing something. Oh, hey, Caitlin, thanks for popping in between rehearsal. I appreciate you. Yeah, hi, Jason. I have not done any reads on a live before, and I've been getting this sort of nudge in the back of my mind to do it. Now, here's the thing. I'm not going to do a full hour of reads. That's going to be pretty exhausting for me, if I'm being honest. I had a full day of reads, and I always want to be sure that I'm saving my energy and my percentages for those who are meeting with me one-on-one. Though I thought through the hour I would do 4 reads. So that's 4 reads, 4 people. And the way that this will work, I'll give you a 3, 2, 1. And then if you want a read, just a general read, I'm using my Lithomancy set. They're anything from stones to coins to bottles to like random things that I find that I love. It'll just be a pure psychic read. The first thing that I get is what you will hear. And oh, hello, ma'am. Thanks for joining. Thank you, Sally. And yeah, I will just kind of see where it goes. I'm kind of curious to see how this works. I've done it with my Patreons before. I've done this with the community that I have on Patreon. And one of the things that we did this past month was those in the community tier, I went live just for them. And we all did polls for each other, and it was just super, super validating. So I thought I would extend that to a live and kind of see what happens. Thank you, Tess. Thank you so much for the gifts. I super appreciate all of you. Hello, Cheyenne. Yes, okay, so here's how it's going to work. I'm going to trust Spirit to lead me to the right name. Now, here's the thing. If you want a read, you have to put the name that you go by, so the name that you identify by, just the first name and the first initial of your last name. Okay, I'm gonna do a 3, 2, 1, comment them. If you want to read, comment the first name you identify as and the first initial of your second name. I'll give you a minute. I'm gonna ground as well because I'm getting a lot of energy. All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm not looking, but I am gonna scroll a little bit. All right, Pepper Tea. I'm not sure if I've ever read for you before, but cool name. All right, so Pepper Tea. What's a good message for Pepper Tea right now? Okay, so let me see how this sits. Okay, so it's a little soldier. That's what it looks like. And it faces me. Oh, okay. Pepper Tea, this says to me that you have felt like you needed to be really on guard as of late. But was that necessary to do? Feels a little bit half and half. Part of it seems to be you were protecting your peace and you had some people that were kind of nipping at it. My advice to you would be mark the people you need to make boundaries with versus, thank you, Heather, versus the people who are there who are actually trying to help you. Sometimes it's not worth it to be guarded against everybody. So what I would recommend to you, maybe take some time, make a list. I'm a big lister personally. Make a list of people and figure out like who on that list could get a few more boundaries versus who on that list you feel like you can just be yourself with. And that might mean just being able to exist with them without necessarily needing to say anything or do anything. Yeah, anything else on that? Yeah, other thing. I feel like it's taken you some time to be able to get to a point where you could make boundaries. So this is by no means a reproach. This is just a reminder, not everybody, you don't have to shield or guard yourself against everybody. There's some people who do mean you well. So, cool. All right, I'm skipping to the end. All right, I think... Oh, did I just see your message? Oh, great. Thanks, Bell Pepper. So that's Pepper Tea. I was like, if I catch the comment where somebody's like, cool, that works for me, that's great for me. But otherwise, I'm just kind of going on a whim of like, I hope it helps. So you said that makes so much sense. So I'm very glad. Ooh, this is so pretty. This is one of my favorite ones. Thanks, ma'am. Okay. So I'm gonna put the soldier somewhere else. Release the energy. Woo, I feel so much energy. Oh my goodness. Okay. So, next up, I'm going to clear out. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing. I can't see the names, but I'm going to be scrolling up and down. Find me. That person. Okay. So, Brianna M., you're going to be next. And while I'm doing the read, I appreciate your comments, but you don't need to keep commenting. It'll just be like, well, like all the time. So, Brianna M, I believe it was. Okay. So what does Brianna M need to know right now? Ooh, okay. Which way does this sit? Okay. So this is tourmaline. That's what it looks like. And I asked how it sit. Yeah, thanks. I asked how it sit because whether it's moving up or moving down will make a point, essentially. For you, it's moving down, which says to me, grounded. This is a chance for you to root down. It feels like a lot of your feelings are out here, which there can be a time and place. I always recommend if people have a lot of feelings here to do something active so that they can kind of calm down and you can separate yourself from like anxiety thoughts. For you, I would definitely recommend rooting. Oh, look at that one. That's so cool. Thank you for that. Okay, getting back into the strand. Rooting back into yourself, because at the core, you're going to be the one that will be able to protect yourself the most. Tourmaline oftentimes has to do with protection. So when you root, when you ground, when you look inward, that will be the best way to protect yourself. It feels like you might be looking at outer sources or picking apart things that aren't working for you. So yeah, look inward, ground. I know it's easier said than done to breathe, but I think that's going to be really important for you right now. So cool. Hope that helps. So I'm going to thank your energy. Okay. Switch out my stones a little bit. All right. I'm just going to check in on the comments. I'll tell you when I'll be, up to, getting another person again, so y'all don't need to comment quite yet, but I appreciate your comments all the same. If you're thinking about commenting, you're welcome to send me a like instead, and I appreciate all the gifts. Oh my goodness, thank you. Yes, thank you. Oh my goodness, all these gifts, I really appreciate it. So cool. Oh, awesome. Amber, sad you missed the live with Catherine. Had a reading with her last week. Loved it. Excellent. Catherine's another part of my readers team. Thank you, Sally, for the gifts. Catherine is the primary past loved ones reader. Catherine is also the malicious entity remover. Catherine, I describe as the muscle on the team. So, yeah, very cool. Excellent. Thanks so much for the gifts. I'm just blown away. My goodness. So, here's the thing. Welcome if you're just joining. So, oh, let's see. Oh, wow. Amber. So Catherine, Amber says she got my pregnancy and was excited. It was first she got over virtual. Oh, that's awesome. Yes, fantastic. Oh, excellent. Joannie, excited, booked one of my mini sessions in April. Yay, awesome. I look forward to meeting you. Thanks for the gifts, everybody. Okay, Brittany, if I'm saying that correctly, do ghosts hang out with me while I do readings? No, that doesn't seem consensual. The only folks who are welcome on my readings are my guides and whoever spiritual folks who are open to coming through. So, yeah, I'm not gonna have my folks in on that. A long time ago, back in 2021, sometimes Rupert would hang out just to make sure things were okay. But even for the most part, he kept leaving. Jimothy would leave, that kind of thing. Oh, yay, awesome. So many of you book with Catherine, and I remember reading somebody who would book with Matt. Excellent. Okay. Woo, so much energy in the chat. Hello, Pondering the Paranormal. So, yeah. All right, so I'm going to do the thing again. If you want a reading, I'll just be doing a basic read. Comment your first name, the name that you identify as, and the first initial of your second name. So first identified name and first letter of your second name. I'm going to let you do that. And you are welcome to comment again for this particular part if you commented last time and I didn't choose you. I'm just really trusting Spirit to lead me to the folks that I need to go to for whatever reason. I don't even know what's about. So, okay, so I'm going to ground again because I'm already feeling a lot of energy. And if you would, please only comment your name once each round. That would be super helpful because I know some of y'all will be typing faster than others. So, okay. So I can't see the names. I'm just going to be doing some scrolling up and down. This one. Oh, I landed on a gift. Fantastic. Goodness. Okay. Wow, I just lost my train of thought because I literally just like poked it and I was just like, what is this gift? Who just gave that? Okay. I think that was you, Daphne. But I don't want to choose you because that's what's so interesting. I literally poked it on top of the gift, and I think that says something. So, Daphne, if everybody could stop commenting just for a moment. Daphne, if you are comfortable with a read, could you comment yes or no? I don't typically do this, but I'm going to be... Okay, so that was you, Daphne. Are you comfortable? Yes. Okay. Thank you for that. So just so you know, it won't always be gift based, just because that's not what this is about. But it just so happened, Daphne, I landed on you and I opened my eyes right on your gift. So I'm kind of like, I'm going to go with that. So Daphne, what does Daphne need to know? Ooh, you get Moonstone. And it looks like this on the other side. So which side is it? It's this side, and it feels like it's facing down. So, Moonstone. The words that just came to my mind were take time to recharge at night. Yeah, I'm going to hold a moment because there's a comment I want to get to. I see that. I want to answer that. Take time to recharge at night. That could mean there's something about going outside and like being under the moonlight, being under the starlight. It doesn't have to be for long. Maybe like a 10-minute sort of like reset sort of thing. Moonstone doesn't always mean like moonlight, but for whatever reason, when connecting with your energy was very much like take a moment. It feels like there may be a lot of busy things going on in your household. Not necessarily bad things, but just sort of, it feels like your attention's being pulled every which way. So that's why I think it's going to be important for you to have, I really am thinking a 10-minute time. And if you want to go out there, you want to stand under the moon and just sort of like breathe and ground, perfect. If you want to do applicable thought of like, what did you achieve on this day? Or what did you learn on this day? How did you celebrate yourself on this day? I think that'll be useful. Anything else there? Cut yourself some slack. Okay. Cut yourself some slack. It seems that you are doing more than perhaps you realize you are doing. Another thing that comes to mind is be sure that it doesn't take you needing to defend yourself for you to acknowledge and recognize all that you do for yourself and for those around you. It should be something, consider celebrating about yourself every single day. So yeah, Soul Healing Hypnosis said, you didn't think I did online readings. Yeah, so this is my first time on a live doing general reads, just because I kept getting this like itch in the back of my mind to like try it. I'm not going to do a bunch of them this time around. I wanted to thank my Patreons, because I did some like lives that were exclusive to them and like different calls and social calls. And sometimes we'll do reading exchanges so that we all can kind of make reads for one another and learn from one another. I think I want to make those more regular, because they're validating not only for the people in the group, but they're also super validating for me. And I love that cross validation. Anytime that we can all grow and learn from one another and encourage one another, and maybe even like have reading buddies within the group, I'm all about that. So that's really why I thought I'd try this with like a larger group. I mean, there are over 200 of you. Thank you for the heart. I'm going to put this piece down. But yeah, that was for Daphne. I saved that one comment because I was like, I want to address this. Thank you so much for the gifts. I really appreciate them. So, yes, you're welcome, Daphne. Folks in the Patreon saying hi to each other. Thank you. Ooh, this is a good question from Natasha. How do you know how to protect your emotions as an empath? Yes. So, one, you need to understand what you're feeling first. And there's going to be a part of that that is going to be mental health related, for you to be able to think, okay, what do I feel about this situation? Why do I feel about this situation? So first, work on where your emotions are. Work on what you feel, and then work on why you feel that way. So that's going to be part mental health. The other part of it is, when you're out and about, if you can understand how you feel first, then you can understand what everything else is feeling. Sometimes that'll be a building will give you a vibe. Sometimes that'll be, somebody over there just seems kind of gunky or something like that. I am also an advocate to apply cleansing routines throughout your day. For me, every time I use the bathroom between every consultation. Why? Because it releases. And I just tell my body, I'm releasing anything that's not mine. So, and I let it go. You don't necessarily need to use the bathroom to do that, but if you're gonna use the bathroom anyway, why not make it a spiritual experience? Wow. That's great. Making bathroom trips a spiritual experience. Here we go. I've also met ghosts in bathrooms before that are not a great spiritual experience, but I digress. So yeah, and then regularly shielding. Once you understand what you feel like, and regularly shielding will be useful. Remember, shields, it's whatever you want to make it. You can be a superhero if you want. You can be a fantasy hero if you want. You can be a tree or a wall or a bright light. Get creative with your shields. I encourage people to draw them out, and so that they know them even better and they know what they do. So, oh, thank you. Thank you for the gift. Thank you. Thank you, Gina. Hello from the Virginia coast. Hello. Oh, thank you for sharing reading suggestions in the live. Very cool. I appreciate that. I have been to Savannah, Georgia. In fact, a friend of mine, Enika, has her own tour company down there, and I visited her twice. There will be some skits coming up from a playground that's next to a cemetery in Savannah. And if you're ever in Savannah, I highly recommend Enika Edenfeld Tours. tours, my words today. She's wonderful because she first understands the history and then she gets into the lore. And I appreciate that because it's not sensational, which I think makes the ghost stories even better because they make them really believable. So thank you, Inika, for existing. From Australia, from Sydney. Hello, Eleanor. Oh yes, love for Savannah in the chat. I love that. Elizabeth in Jersey, hello. I believe Jersey's haunted. Yeah. Ooh, do I have any advice? This is from Anna. Do I have any advice on finding where to live to feel happy and aligned? Ooh, thanks for the heart. Yay. So my experiences was finding a lot of places that I enjoyed and that I could live in, but I chose not to. I think the scariest thing to do is to move around and try to see what you feel drawn to. You can certainly check out some places first. I will tell you my love story in Wilmington real quick. Sorry, my eyeliner is doing some funny stuff tonight. So in Wilmington, I came here, I visited, it was on vacation, and I got so sick from the place that I had come from that I actually got E. coli from the food from the city that I just came from, which was Raleigh. And oh, thank you for that gift. No hate to Raleigh, that wasn't my place. It was a place in time for me that like grew me so much, and I value everybody that I met there, though I wasn't meant to be there forever. So I came here on holiday, I got so sick, and then I left, and then I couldn't stop thinking about it. It was like this thing in the back of my mind of like, you need to go back, you need to go back, you need to live there, you need to live there. And Lisa, the house I was out at in Raleigh was just about up, and I was like, all right, I don't know anything about Wilmington. I have no friends there, no connections, nothing. I'm gonna move there. It's a year-long lease. What's the worst that could happen? And it's been the place that I've loved living in more than any other place in my life. And that I moved back in 2018. So yeah, part of it's putting it out there. Some people like astrocartography, which is using astrology and lines to figure out what works. Go figure. I forget which line for me, but one falls right over Wilmington and it falls right over Savannah. So I'm like, that's why I like Savannah so much. How funny. So I feel like what's funny when I did visit there, I was like, whoa, I could totally live here. Like, that's weird because I also very much love Wilmington and I love everything going on there. But I was like, this feels like home too. So it's not just one place that we're always meant to wind up. So yeah, best of luck with that. Ley lines. Oh, she wants to move to Wilmington. I mean, I love it here. High Point. That's about the place where I grew up. Hello, Christina. I'm in North Carolina now. So you know of spirit. Ooh, okay, so from Brittany, do you know if spirits latch on to unborn children? I'm avoiding my late friend's grave until birth. I'm just going to speak from my experience. I have never come across somebody who has had that problem before, but that's based upon my experience. I'm not so much getting an intuitive answer on that. I mean, I want to say intuitively no, because that your child's being made for a specific spirit. And that spirit is working on becoming incarnate right now. So I don't think you have to worry about that. And this is something really for anybody. Be wary of what you choose as fact for you. We are powerful beings and we can manifest things. You want to be sure that, even though I don't think you run the risk of a spirit being attached to the child, you want to be sure that you're doing your own shielding work to be sure that something doesn't potentially attach to you. Now, I would say when carrying a child, that does raise your vibration. But I don't think you have too much to worry about. If you want to visit your friend's grave site, shield up before you go and have a quick conversation with your guides, maybe your loved ones who mean you well, and just be like, hey, I want to be protected. I am trusting you to protect me. And then throw it out of your mind. If you have any thoughts in there of, oh no, what if, that's you pulling down your shields. What if can go two ways. It can be, what if I crash and burn, or what if everything works out? Now, I'm not going to sit here and be like, everything is love and light. That's not my personal MO, but I do want to go about things pragmatically. So, but I'm giving you an answer based on my experience. If we were to have like a one-on-one conversation, I perhaps could find out more, but that's just what I feel. Okay. So, okay. Oh, yay, Maria. Can't wait to have an appointment with me. Yay. Look forward to that. Yes, Becca, we do have the same name. I know, right? I don't see a lot of people with the spelling either. Oh, yay! Glad you liked my video on the Mendenhall house. If anybody has not been able to see that yet, it's short form on here, long form on YouTube. And one of the things that I do for my long form content on YouTube, the more recent ones, I tell you to pause, or you can take time to make reads yourself, because remember, space and time doesn't matter to spirit. That's how I can be here and you can be there. It's to encourage you to make reads as well. And then we talk about what we're reading, so you can get real-time validation of things. But then we also talk about the history of what we're getting as well. So even if we don't pick up on it, perhaps you picked up on something historically, we want to validate that as well. Patreon is another great place. People, I pre-release a lot of things on there, or release it in full in like director's cut versions. So people have been cross-validating a lot of things on there. My whole channel is I want to encourage people to work with one another to find truth. First, it's truth within self. It's what you connect with the most. It's what resonates with you. And then when you get channeled information, to be able to cross-validate with other people. So like you can be talking to somebody from like across the continent and get the same answer from like a deity that both of you talk to, but you haven't talked to anybody else, and like you get the same mannerisms or the same color association or something like that. That's what I'm about. One of the things that I am doing as Rebekah the Ghost Guide, I started to realize that for ghosts, it's not just about like ghosts outside of us. I think of like what makes up a ghost within us. I think of what makes a haunting for us personally. It's not always the exterior. Sometimes it's like we're working on ourselves. So this whole Rebekah the Ghost Guide has grown so much over the years. It's grown from sharing pictures of when I was doing live in-person ghost tours. It turned into me doing reenactments, and now it's turned into reenactments and education and courses, and on Patreon, but like an opportunity for courses, but also publicly opportunities for cross-validation. So yeah, once again, if you haven't checked out my long form content on the tube of you, I hope you do. And this will actually show up on there. So if you're joining a little bit late, you are welcome to go on there and check it out. I'm not sure when it's going to be reposted, but it'll certainly be reposted within the week. Hey, Catherine, good to see you. Oh wow, Cassie did a ghost tour in Wilmie when you lived there. Oh, thanks, Cassie. Okay, so Cassie says, did a ghost tour with you once in Wilmie when I lived there. You were fabulous. Loved following along. Yeah, I really enjoyed those. I have noticed over time, and there are a few different complications here and there that seem so old now, but yeah, I didn't know if I was safe doing those, because like so many people wanted to have tours with me, and it was just like me out on my own. And for the most part, everybody was like super lovely, though I've also had a few creepsters, and then now I'm just sort of like, safety's cool. So that's why I meet with people like online for consultations. That's why when I go places, if it's just me or if it's just me and a friend, I don't announce it. I'm certain most of you mean absolutely well. If Like, if you're concerned about it, it's probably not you that's the problem. It's just, unfortunately, we live in the world that we live in. And yep. I will say, and this turned into be a joke, but this is the sort of thing that I was dealing with. So in Wilmington, I would be going down to do a tour, and I remember this one car, it was filled with people, was going the opposite way on the street, and then suddenly like turned, and then like U-turned in the middle of the street. This was 3rd Street, which is pretty busy, and then like nearly got on the curb to do like a very bad parking job, and then 4 people got out of their cars and they said, "Are you Rebekah the Ghost?" And I was just like, I don't know. Like, I don't want, I know I love it too. Are you Rebekah the Ghost? It's either, are you Rebekah the Ghost, or are you the ghost girl? Which, like, whatever. I'm not expecting people to remember my name, but like, that got kind of scary. Like, they meant well, and they were like, "Oh, sorry, we didn't mean to freak you out." And like, I'm holding my staff, because at the time I also had like a staff where it would hurt if I hit somebody. But yeah, scary stuff like that was happening, and like, people were calling the tour company. They wanted to book with me specifically. That made ticketing difficult. It was just like a whole thing. I didn't have an offer from the boss or whatever to allow me to have like my own tour or like my own thing or whatever. So I think at some point I would love to do something like that again. I'll probably make that Patreon exclusive. I did do that back in 2022. It was like late 2022, where at like 10 p.m. at night, I got together with some Patreons, and they all came to Wilmington for a meetup, and we just walked around, and I told them the unabridged stories, not the stories from the tour itself. I told them my stories. So like, we went to the courthouse, we went to the Bergman Wright House, we went to 24 South Coffee House, we went to different burial grounds. I just told things that were from my experience. It was truly a Rebekah the Ghost Guide tour. So I may do that again. I've toyed with it, doing that again maybe later this year, but once again, that'll be Patreon exclusive, just because that offers a small layer, but it does offer a layer of protection for me, just because even though I don't have access to personal information through Patreon, if something had happened, Patreon would have access to people's information if they needed it. So that's really the protection layer of it anyway. Yeah, gonna need some coffee for that one. Yeah, I'm not often up around 10 p.m. So, yeah. Yeah, right? Brixenta, you're a ghost? Yeah, right? Like, I'm a ghost? How did that happen? Walking downtown is enough. Yeah, I do love downtown. I've lived in some pretty sketchy places in my life, and downtown Wilmington it's not as scary as some other places I've been. I'll just leave it at that. I hear far less gunshots, if any at all, and if that gives you any indication of the kind of neighborhoods I've lived in before, yeah, safety comes first. Yeah, thanks for understanding, y'all. So cool. All right, hi everybody. Hi. How do I feel about Arley Gardens? I actually haven't been yet, which is wild. That's like one of the only places out here that I have not gone to. Yeah, Nicole, what I'll say in regards to that question, we all get a chance to process once we pass. And part of the reason why I'm such a huge advocate for mental health, besides the fact that it did wonders for me, is we don't escape mental health. We always get a chance to review our lives, to come to terms with it. We can review our lives now, which I'm just going to tell you, it's easier to review our lives now, to come to terms with what we can and cannot change, control, etc. now than it is on the other side, because time is different over there. We might miss stuff here, like we might miss stuff there. It is just better if you have access to self-help books, counseling, sliding scale therapists, friends who will listen, journaling, shadow book journals, like anything like that. We have so many things that are accessible to us. The hardest thing about it is just doing it. It's just getting on top of it and doing it. So, yeah, it's a funny thing. I like talking to ghosts. I want to make less ghosts. So if we can put our mental health first, and if we can put understanding ourselves first and come to terms with who we are and loving ourselves for who we are, we won't have to do that later. And please know, a life review, everybody has to do it. Everybody has to do it. So it's not a good place or a bad place. No, it's life review. And it takes longer for people who have more to deconstruct. It takes less time for people who are like, yep, I live my life. I feel good about it. So that's my response to that question. Yeah. Okay. So, oh, thank you, Kyle. Very cool. Yeah, okay. So I think I'm going to do another poll for somebody. I did 2 so far, I think? Yes, I did 2. Yes? Yes. Okay. No, wait. No, I did. Because I pulled that one and I pulled that one. I did 3 so far. Okay, so I'm going to do another poll. Here's how it works. If you want a general message, I will pull something from my Lithiomancy set. Anything from stones to coins to one person's trash is my treasure kind of thing. All you have to do is comment the name you associate yourself as. So your first name, name you identify as, and the initial of your second name. So first name and first initial of your second name. So thanks, Joey. And I'm going to look down so more people can comment, so it's not all about who can comment the most. Please only comment your name once. I'm going to let y'all do that. Oh, I have hair on my board. It's like I'm alive and shedding or something. I'm just going to ground again. All right, so the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to scroll up and down on the screen, and then my finger is going to pick somebody. So first, I can't see the names, but I'm scrolling up, I'm scrolling down, scrolling up a tad, I'm scrolling down a bunch, scrolling up. Down. Cool, I love that. It just like totally froze on my face doing something just gorgeous, I'm sure. I was like, I'm going to scroll up and down in the screen. Okay, anyway, I'm back. Let's try that again. All right. So, yeah. So, scrolling up to I see a bunch of names. Cool, cool, cool. I'm not really seeing details. Scrolling down. Scrolling up. Okay. So, Jolene is who my finger chose. And it's just Jolene. No second name. So, Jolene, what does Jolene need to know? Wait, is that right? Yes. Okay. So, which way does it go? This way. All right. So, this is an ammonite and Fibili quartz. The way that it goes up was this side up. Ooh. Okay, Jolene, what this says to me is your spirit team in particular sees all of your potential. They're doing what they can to help you through it. They want you to see your potential. So ammonite and Fibili quartz oftentimes has to do with ancestors, with ancestral power, like just knowledge of self, but also like higher knowledge of self. With it being on this side, that says to me that it's there. It's not like off somewhere. It's just you seeing it. It almost seems like they're trying to, like your team is trying to be like, hey, let's get out of that situation. Let's not stay in a situation where we're with people that don't see our true potential, that aren't going to lift us up and encourage us. So I have an activity for you to consider. Do an activity and treat it like imagination. So that way you're not going like, what if I get it wrong? Like, wrong and right is relative in spirit. Let's just go with that. Somebody's going to use that against me. Anyway, no, in this, what I mean by that is throw out the idea that you could be wrong or right. Okay. Just make it creative, make it, sky's the limit, make it fun, imaginary time. Go to a place in your mind, write it out if you need to, or say it out loud if you need to, and talk to the person 5 years in your future. Ask that person where you need to be, what you need to be doing. Because I do think, and I said 5 years, that wasn't an accident. Like, it feels like in 5 years you're going to be coming into what you are. It's just you're going to be recognizing what you are. So yeah, talk to that person. Ask that Jolene. Thank you so much, Easy, for the gifts. Thank you. So yeah, anything else on that? It seems like your team, like the words, we wish you could see what we see. So know you have support. Thank you so much. Heart puff. I didn't even know what that was. Yeah, you have folks who believe in you. They just want you to believe in you. So I'm going to thank that energy. Thank you. I think I'm going to do one more, and then I'll do a collective. Oh my goodness. What was that? Thank you, Jolene. I just saw your gift. I appreciate that. Oh my goodness. Yay, thank you for the compliments. I'm glad y'all like my videos. I appreciate that. Oh, that's so cute. Presenius. Okay. Cool. Yes, you're welcome, Jolene. Let's see. Presenius, if I'm saying it correctly, that just happened, and lions speak to me. So, would you like a read? Okay, cool. Well, you just got one. The lion speaks to me. That was such a cute gift. Goodness, thank you, Easy, for all those gifts. Okay, so Presenius. What does Presenius need to know? And I guess I'm going off of name in general. Yep, that's fine. Okay, cool. So, ooh, Lepidolite? I believe that's what this is. That's that side. So, okay, and cool, it actually is this side up. The other side is a bit foggy. So, what this reminds me of, it's like when somebody has dug themselves out of something and they're seeing the sun for the first time. Like, for example, you see it in my ring light. It gets shiny. You see purple. Like, it's there, right, on the side, but we just can't see it because it's foggy. You got that. I really feel like for you, it's more like a metaphor. It's like popping up out of the dirt and being like, woo, okay. It feels like you were comfortable where you were, and that's fine, but it seems like it was your interest and your passions that you were like, okay, but what's more if we change the lighting? Like, what does that look like? And you did it. It doesn't feel like you're fully out of that area yet, but that's okay. I don't get any indications from your, thank you for the gift. I don't get any indications from your team that it's like, you gotta go, like, pedal to the metal, bam. No, they're just like, hey, this is what the top layer looks like. What do you think? And you get to decide how you like it, or if you want to change it, and that kind of thing. So kudos on your journey. Kudos on getting to the place where you are right now. If you're ever feeling down, or if you're ever feeling like, man, I wish I could do more, that might be a journal prompt for you as well. Oh, great. I hit it on the head. Thank you for sharing that. So yeah, good job on you, and understand how you move forward is really in your control. So, all right. I think some of y'all are also like on the other end being like, one more. Thank you, Jen. Cause I'm hearing it on this side and I'm like, I wanted to give myself 4 as an out, but I am feeling okay. So, I think I'll do one more individual, and then I'll do one for collective for anybody who's watching. So once again, if you want a read, comment your first name, the name you identify as, and the first letter of your second name. I'll give you some time to do that. All right, let's see if I actually, like, don't close out the thing this time. So I'm not able to see your names. I'm, like, fuzzing out a little bit. All right. Oh, thank you for the gift. Christina K. And your user with a bunch of numbers. Christina K. All right. So what does Christina need to know? Hold on. What does Christina need to know? Hold on. Yeah. What does Christina need to know? You get a nail. Get a rusty nail. Okay. So let me see. What does this nail say? Ooh. I just saw like the nail in my mind do like a this, or it was just sort of like, and like rolled a little bit. Ooh, okay. This is a less than fun message. It feels like perhaps you felt a bit discarded as of late. Know that your worth is not from somebody else's hand. Like when I think of somebody like throwing a nail, it's like, oh, I don't need this. Somebody did that with this nail, and I don't know many nails that like get to be in front of like so many people with like your attention on them and that kind of thing. I picked this up, right? This was somebody's trash turned into my treasure. I use it for a lot of different things. So yeah, understand your worth is not as somebody else's cast off. You are perfectly fine as yourself. And here's the thing. Yeah, it looks rusty, but do you see on the inside? It's silver. It's still strong. Can still be a nail. Can still do the thing. Let's see. Other advice to go with that. The words that came to mind. Screw that reading. Screw that guy or like that person or something like that. I was reading a like, comment. That was like, screw the reading. Wait, what? Whoever discarded you, screw them. Which is also funny to say. I typically don't say screw, but I'm also just like, nail, screw, what? It's just rusty on the surface, which shows age and shows maturity and shows experience. So, yeah, I say good riddance. Whoever thought that you weren't worth it, you weren't worth being utilized for your strengths. And also, for the record, rusty nails are seen as lucky. So, nailed it. Hit the nail on the head, pun intended. Thank you. Okay, I'm happy to help. This was fun. Okay, so I did see some of you asking, could you pay for readings, that sort of thing. So you can, if you're interested. I have a variety of different readings that I offer on my website. Remember, I only offer readings on my website. I do not ever DM anybody saying, I feel drawn to you and da 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 da. I am not in my DMs. Like, period, end of story. If you want to get into contact with me, you have to go to my webpage. There's a contact form that'll go to my assistant who will filter them out appropriately. But if you want to talk to me one-on-one, I have different options. Not all of them are psychic medium-led. I do that intentionally. If you just want to like talk to somebody one-on-one and be like, I'm doing this, this, and this. Do you have tips? I have options for that. If you just want to like share stories with me, I have options for that. I've got a few different things on my webpage. So yeah, if you're interested in that, I hope to see you soon. I really did this for fun. And once again, I want to give a thank you to my Patreons as well. I wouldn't have been able to do this a year ago. I wouldn't have been able to go live with people and just read people generally. Like, I've been doing online one-on-one meetings with people where the energy is much calmer and we really get to tap into things. But yeah, I'm glad you ignored the DM. That was not me. Yes, because that was not me. I really thank them, especially the community page and the community tier, for like validating me that I could do this in such a quick format. And if you're interested in doing that, I do want to make those kinds of social calls more normal, so that you can also have cross-validation with a bunch of other people. Thank you, Fuzzy, for joining. Welcome to the community. So yeah, that's what I want. I want to build people up. I want people to build each other up. I don't want it to ever just seem like some people can do this and others can't. No, we all have intuition, and I really want to celebrate that. So, yeah, thanks for joining. Timeline readings. Do you mean like past life stuff? And thank you for the gift. Yes, I do. One of my favorite readings is called a soul journey reading. the soul journey of different parts of your soul, or it can be different past lives. Generally, it's past lives. I really give it up to your guides on what they want to share. That's one of my longer readings. It's super exciting. I had one today. We not only got into past lives for the client I had today, we also got into their lives as other beings in different afterlives. So like different realms and that sort of thing. So it really depends on what your guides want to show you. I'm really just, they're the captain. I am just the one giving out the information. Oh my goodness, that's wild, Sally. Yes. So last thing, yes, a soul journey reading. I love soul journey readings. They're truly my favorite. But anyway, I will do a collective read for anybody who wants it. I don't read without consent. So if you consent to this, you can comment if you want, but you don't have to. Just say it in your mind, say it to your guides, and just be like, cool, I consent to a consensual, or to a collective reading. This will be for both those in the live as well as those who may be watching this on YouTube later. So what is a collective reading for everybody watching? Woo! A bloodstone. There we go. Ooh, you know what's wild? This lines right up with what I was listening to on Alchemist Inkwell, which is a podcast. I love that. And that's also gives a forecast for each week. Anyway, the bloodstone oftentimes has to do with circulation. So this says to me, make sure you're in tune with your body. And that doesn't always mean like eat healthy and go exercise and all that stuff. If you want to do that, do it. You're being called to do it, so do it. But this is not a time to shame ourselves. This might mean take a stretch break. This might mean if you're getting frustrated, go outside. If you have sun where you are and it doesn't hurt you to be in the sun, go stand in it for like 10 minutes. Stretching is good. If you want to get some cardio in, that's good. And it can just be like taking a walk, or it can be, you're going to call up a good friend and then go for a walk as you talk to them. Yeah, just be sure you're checking in with your body and that your soul has a nice comfy place, a nice comfy home. Yeah, this can also be if you're scrolling on the social medias and you want to just be like, oh, instead of sitting down, I'm going to stand up, or I'm going to stretch as I do this. There you go. So cool. Clear cardio. I love that. Cool. Okay. It's for you. Okay, cute. Yes. Thank you. Yes. Okay, cool. Well, as I said, I'm going to pop off, but I really appreciate everybody joining. I'm going to try to make this a normal thing on Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard. And yeah, if you want to book with me, you're more than welcome to. I'd love to see you. I don't know how often I'll be doing these on lives, but there'll certainly be more opportunities for different Patreon opportunities. But yeah, if you want to book with me one-on-one, you're more than welcome to do so. So yeah, that was such a fast hour. I agree. I had a lot of fun, and thank you for the supportive atmosphere that you have shared with me this evening. And yeah, you make me want to do this again. So I really appreciate that. Yes. Good night, everybody. Thank you so much for the gifts, and thank you so much for being here.